We're recording live from Baldwin and Company in New Orleans. Welcome, man.
Man, thank you for having me here.
Oh man, I'm glad that you're here. You came to the school and surprised me the other day, man. And that was a treat.
Yeah. Your sister said you cried, and that I wouldn't. You cried.
Yeah,
I didn't.
yeah.
But I still.
I'm looking for Miss Williams. Just fix your face. Prepare yourself.
How you doing? I wish I had free breakfast this morning. I want to get some breakfast. I need some breakfast. Man. Maya, you
I still was moved by seeing
You feel tough?
No, I don't. I don't. I was robbed the ability to show that type of emotion.
Yeah, we're gonna dig deeper into that.
Yeah. But I was touched.
Yeah, we're gonna dig deeper into that.
Because it would have been jacked up had you just been like, what's up? You know what I mean? So I appreciate you showing some emotion.
Yeah, man. I think one of the things that makes living and being a transplant in New Orleans hard is that I have community here. Like New Orleans is very much so a communal space, and the culture here is like it's felt. But also like my people aren't here, and that's been one of the toughest parts of moving somewhere. But then also just this transition as a school leader has been. It's a very isolating and lonely job, being a leader, and
every walk of life.
Every walk of life, right? And you gotta have your people. And I go without seeing y'all for like 7-8 months. The pandemic was maybe a year or more, right? And that can be tough. And so that kind of inspired this series that I want to do, going into year 30, which is crazy.
Man, how is it that you turn 30?
Right,
means I'm getting younger.
Right, I don't understand it.
Math is something else.
Yeah, math don't make sense.
Yeah.
They ain't adding up. And so for me, being able to connect with the people that I love and I care about, be able to talk, just laugh and joke and talk about silly stuff, but then also talk about some more serious stuff I think is important to me. So I want to be able to do this, and I think it's no one better to be able to be the first person to be able to have this conversation with. And so I'm gonna ask a couple questions just to get us started, to get us like light and get comfortable talking. I want it to feel like a normal conversation as much as possible. I know that
we have podcasts, just our regular conversations.
Yeah, our regular conversations are being podcasts, and so I thought this would be a perfect time just to be able to record it. And and end of the day, the conversation may or may not ever be shared, and so I want this to be like a thing that we feel comfortable with, being us. And I think at the end of the day, I've learned, especially being on TV and being in the public eye, I've learned a lot about like how much of privacy is a gift and what things need to be shared versus not. And one of the things that I want to make sure that I have for myself as a gift to myself for this 30th birthday is be able to have like real conversations and time with the people I care about. That's really important to me. And so be able to, when y'all aren't with me, being able to, obviously I know I can call y'all anytime, but then be able to listen back on conversations where we're able to have, that's going to be a gift to me long term. And so I want to be able to make this happen. So let's start, man. One of the things that I do with my kids every day to start our school day is tell a joke of the day.
Yeah.
And so my first question for you is, do you have a joke, like a go-to joke for the people? I know one that you always say, but wanted to be able to ask if you have any that are.
I don't have anything
to mind.
No, I really don't anymore. Because I don't think I have anything that's appropriate for all ages.
Oh, well, no, you got one. You got one.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
What you got?
What do you call a deer with no eyes? I have no idea. Yeah, I mean, that's a good one. That's my,
that's a classic.
That's my go-to.
That's the go-to.
When you're talking to kids in particular, but
you got one. That's a good one. That's a good one.
I have no idea.
There you go. Thanks for that one. It's a niche slapper. Second question. This is more of a because of your relationship to me, you probably have a good story. I think a lot of times people see one side of me from either TV or social media or being a school leader.
Yeah.
What is the dumbest thing that I've ever done that you can think of? What's top of mind? It's a dumb thing. I've done a lot of dumb things, but I know that you can think of one.
The dumbest thing that you've ever done.
Ever.
Oh, wow. I don't know, Miles. I mean, you're a bright guy, and so you've always been a smart kid, but you didn't always show the best common sense. You know what I'm saying? So, all right, I'll tell you the dumbest thing you've ever done.
Oh,
that comes to mind.
Why?
One time I was at the house, and I was outside doing some chores. I open up the trash area, and there's a snake. And I go back, I run inside, I'm like, hey Miles, come here, I need you to help me out. And so I'm going after it with some type of shovel to try to kill it. And this fool, you then start taping.
You didn't tell me what it was.
Here's what you said. Here's what you did. This is what you did. Hey, Dad. Action. I'm like, action? Dude, what are you doing? You're taping me. I'm dealing with this anaconda.
You didn't state that it was an anaconda.
Dude.
Or a snake.
Whatever. All I'm saying is, all you came out equipped with was your phone.
At the time.
To record what was going on. I was going to be on that. They didn't have TikTok back then, but whatever it was going to be on, I was going to be.
It was Vine back then.
Whatever. But nonetheless, that's one of the many instances I can recall that you didn't show the most common sense.
Okay, that's fine. Rest in peace, Vine.
Whatever.
That was. I wish I still had that video, so we could capture it.
Yeah.
Cool. We're going down a little bit deeper about you. Check in with. Just want to check in with you. Like, how are you doing, man? Like, you doing okay right now? Like, how are you? Like, really?
I'm good. I mean, I'm good. You know, I oftentimes struggle with things we talked about along the lines of achievement and goal setting and things like that used to be, I knew exactly what those things were then. They were tangible.
Yeah.
It was like more like monetary stuff. It isn't monetary anymore. It's not. It's about how do I leave a legacy after I'm no longer here. Like, I got to make sure there's a trace of me here that I can point to, or someone can point to. That means I've done something that is significant enough after I'm gone. And so I'm trying to figure out what that looks like, and want to do that. I mean, obviously want to continue to pour into y'all to the extent you need it, but now I need to figure out how to pour into others in the right fashion. So I'm trying to figure out what that looks like going forward.
Yeah, I appreciate that. The vulnerability. I think it's big picture. That's how you're doing. Like, in terms of like just your mind right now, like where's your head at? I think that's kind of alluded to it. How's your body feeling? We went to CrossFit this morning.
Yeah, you tried to kill me.
Went to CrossFit this morning.
Yeah, that was nice.
You chose not to listen.
Well, I do.
To sound guidance from your.
I still have ego.
Yeah.
And so it's going to tell me, my mind's going to tell me I can do things I may not be able to do as well as I used to do.
Yeah.
And then my body will quickly remind me,
yeah,
no, you can't do that. So, no, it was a good workout.
Body feels good though, overall.
Absolutely. My body actually is in pretty good shape relative to, my peer set, I think. And then more importantly, I feel good. Like, I don't feel like I have limitations.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think like people act like 30 years old right now.
Oh, dude.
Me.
30.
People act like 30 years old.
30?
People act
Bruh, I was a monster at 30.
Yeah, I'm not even in my prime yet. I haven't touched it.
Monster at 30.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no.
Yeah, I haven't even gotten there yet. And so I think that when I think about 30, I'm like,
nah, bro.
I'm just getting started.
Yeah. Fully utilize your body at 30 years old. Like first of all, pause and reflect on all the things that you put your body through thus far.
Yeah.
Like, remember that and value what you put your body through. Whether it be, athletics, whether it be alcohol, whether it be surgeries, whatever those things that your body has endured and it still serves you,
Yeah.
honor that. And then realize I can still do X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
And at 30 years old, bro, you haven't even tapped into
I don't know.
things that you can do with your body. So yeah, man, that's beautiful.
Yeah, no, that's helpful. One thing we were talking about earlier today was about we were talking about bowls from Smoothie King. Smoothie King, you're not a sponsor yet, but if you want to be a sponsor, you're welcome to be
Bro,
on the podcast.
I'm walking through New Orleans yesterday.
Yeah.
I hate to pause.
You got it, no, dude. Hey.
Walking through New Orleans yesterday, you know how hard it is to find like healthy fare in New Orleans? Like I'm walking for blocks looking for anything that's not got a roux or some type of fried something. I'm looking for just some granola. I just want some fruit and granola. No, you ain't gonna find that downtown.
Chick-fil-A? Chick-fil-A?
Bro, I didn't even think about Chick-fil-A. And so that was difficult, man.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And then what does that in turn, like big picture, what in turn does that mean for, everything I bring back to the kids, right? So what does that mean for a generation of people,
Bro,
who have made, no matter how, who in terms of access, being able to access
Those are food
Healthy
deserts.
food
Food
options, right.
deserts.
Yeah.
And it has impact.
Huge.
Yeah.
Huge impact.
I mean,
and a disproportionate impact on black and brown kids.
yeah, oh, no doubt.
Yeah,
And it's really socioeconomic. I mean, particularly here in New Orleans, right? You got white folk, black folk living in similar squalor in some cases, but not just New Orleans.
Yeah.
And so it's socioeconomic.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Cool. And then like soul, how's your spirit right now? How do you feel that you've been taking care of yourself? Like what does that feel like in terms of your connection to spirituality?
It's good. I mean, I spend every day intentionally trying to tap into that soulfulness. And for me, you and I've talked about this. Like, I believe that God comes in the form of love, and everyone has the capacity to love.
Yeah.
But because of experiences, because of fears, all these things that occur, you can't always tap into that love. Mm-hmm. And so if everyone was able to do that and experience God in that fashion through love, through love of self first, and then let that exude into the world, man, we wouldn't have these weekly news reports of multiple shootings and killings and all this other stuff that just keeps us from realizing our true potential as a people and humanity and all those things. So for me, that's what my soul's about. It's like trying to tap into my love, centeredness as frequently as possible. And I'm getting better.
Yeah.
And I'm not all the way there, but I'm getting much better at that.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you sharing that. I think that's what the essence of love and liberate is, and what it's about. It's about like self-love first and figuring out what does it mean to truly love myself. What are things that are barriers to you being able to love yourself,
right.
Whether that's external or internal, right? That could be
for sure.
That could be insecurity. That could be depression. Or mental health issues, depression, anxiety. That could be the trauma or just external stress that you're experiencing, right? And then once I realized, especially as a person who's been open about my mental well-being and mental health, that once I know what works for me, mm-hmm. and I know that, oh, you know what, I have this awareness of this is a little bit more difficult for me, and this is why, and here's what things work for me. I have a lot more empathy and love for other people, realizing that that what I don't know what they've experienced,
sure.
But I know that I needed love in these moments, and people have shown me love in these moments, and so how can I make sure I show other people?
Yeah.
And that feeling is freeing, right? Mm-hmm. It's like it's liberating, and then you want to be able to create spaces for other people in that way. And I think one of the things that I love about my job, I think, and why does it feel like a job? It feels like a calling or a passion for me is that I get to create that space for kids, so that they don't have to go. They can learn much earlier than I did what it means to love yourself and what you need for yourself, but then also how to love other people. And I think like one of the cool things that I love about our relationship is you've been very transparent about like who you are, like for your strengths, your weaknesses, how you're doing, how you're not doing, etc. And that's been an example for me to be able to. Before I was. I don't know how old you are right now, but however old you are.
Thank you, man. Your sisters know exactly how old I am. And they remind me all the time.
I couldn't tell you. I'd have to really go back.
That's why you're my favorite son.
You know it. You know it. And so, but like before, now I'm part of talking legacy, right? Like before you, I'm able to figure out, here's what I'm passionate about. Here's what works for me. Here's the things that I need to work through. And be able to be a step ahead in that way, and then my kids hopefully will be at a different space, and like that's a legacy in and of itself, right? And so,
what I love about what you do though, in your occupation, is that just by you dropping into these kids' lives every day consistently, and dropping pearls of love, wisdom, of laughter, because I don't know how many kids came up to us while we were walking through school and said, Mr. Williams, what's up with the joke of the day? They were looking forward to the joke of the day. Yeah. And you are leaving legacies, because those kids will grow up with this experience. And this experience is almost like the commercial where you see people do something kind for someone and it kind of passes. This is that pebble that you're dropping. And then those ripples will have wide-reaching impact, and that's the beauty of what you do, man. And not too many people have occupations that allow them to have that type of lasting impact. Things that you may never know about, right? That you'll never experience directly. That's just an amazing, has an amazing impact on people's lives generationally. Yeah. That's a beautiful thing, and so that's fantastic.
No, I appreciate that. I think it's easy to lose sight of that in the grind, right? Like,
for sure.
A lot of people don't understand what it means to be a principal. I think people like traditionally principals on like TV or maybe when we grew up.
Well, y'all weren't principals and teachers were not people. Yeah. Like they didn't have parents.
Nope.
They didn't eat.
Nope.
They didn't have fun. They didn't dance.
They slept at the school.
Yeah, what the heck? Like, what?
Didn't have no swag.
Nothing. No. So the way that y'all have redefined what that looks like, man. Now that I'm an adult and I realize that you guys are people, it's different. Because before I know as a kid, I never thought, people in school, they just weren't people.
No, they're not people. And I think one of the luxuries that I have is or the thing I'm striving for is being able to unapologetically be myself for these kids and them know Mr. Williams makes mistakes. Mr. Williams, you're going to see him walking down the street in Mardi Gras with a cup in his hand, potentially, and drinking with your mama.
With water, yeah.
With water in my cup. Mm-hmm. But then also, it's going to be the same person who's going to be there for you in tough times and is going to be there to give you a hug and tell you jokes, but also going to be the person who's holding you accountable and not holding you accountable out of like fear or out of power, but out of like, you're accountable to our relationship. And because we said this is how we're going to treat one another, if you don't treat one another that way, this is what the consequence is, you know? And we've broken that trust, and like, how do we repair that trust? And, now that I'm in a different place in my life, 5 years ago when I came here, man, I was like I felt like I was like somewhat had some type of wisdom, but like looking back, I had no idea what the heck I was doing, right? And right now, to be able to look.
And you know what? 5 years from now, you look at this
completely different.
Yeah.
Completely different, right? And so one of the things that I'm like most excited about, and kind of what I'm using my bar of success, 'cause I think we often are like in the moment, like if you're looking at the day-to-day stuff, like you're gonna be up and down, right? But my bar of success is how are my pre-K babies when I first got there? What was their experience like throughout school for the last 4 or 5 years, right? So they're in second grade now, they're going to third grade. Their experience of school and what their family sees, what they were able to see, how we were able to grow together, and not discrediting what the experience of other kids has been like, but like those kids, I want to be able to know what their experience was like in school. Because if they were able to say that they were safe to one another, they were kind, that they were intentional, that they had joy, like that's a win. Yeah. And I think sometimes you can lose sight of that when you have people who haven't tapped into themselves in terms of like having an awareness of how they treat other people or how their actions can affect other people, and then that can deter me from being able to help them or doing the work that I think is important. Yeah. And that's helpful to remember. And so one of the things that I think we haven't touched on explicitly, but I think I want to dive into with you is me showing up in that space as a black man, as a man in elementary school. Like there's not a lot of men in education, especially black men in leadership positions in education. And so I'm kind of like a unicorn, which is great, but also comes with some different challenges. One of the beautiful things, I sent this to you the other day, we have a kid who's in pre-K, white boy, blonde hair, blue eyes, and every single day he's like, "What's up, daddy? What's up, daddy? How you doing, daddy?" Right? And I don't know his socioeconomic background, I can't really tell you that, but what power it has for a 4-year-old white boy to the person that he looks up to is me, right? A 29-year-old former athlete, tattoos, earrings, nose rings sometimes not. What does that mean for how he perceives black men or black people going forward?
Or people
in general, right? Yeah. Going forward. And one of the things that shows up is, and I think in the video that I showed you was, he doesn't see me as a black man. He sees me as somebody who cares for him and gives him love. And I think in that same video,
but he does in certain ways. And the reason I say that is
that's a good point.
Think about all of the images that were thrust upon us through social media and so forth and so on. you'll be challenged to find the majority of those images being positive. Like I mean, you'll find athletes, entertainers, and that type of thing, and that's fine. They have their place, but that cannot be the only image.
Yeah.
Because beyond that, and I joke about this all the time with you is, whatever y'all call hip hop right now is not hip hop. It's not storytelling. The storytelling is the same. It's about I'm gonna get this with this chick, or I'm gonna get this money, or whatever. All
I'm gonna pause you right there. J. Cole.
Not J. Cole. No. J. Cole is my man. J. Cole is my. He is absolutely.
Kendrick.
Yeah. Anyway, J. Cole for
Kendrick,
sure.
Don't take what he said.
I don't mean that at J. Cole for sure.
Okay,
but all the rest of that mess.
Jack Harlow.
Harlow cool because anyway. But I'm saying is the majority of that stuff, man, is the same story. And all I'm saying is this kid sees you as a man, a black man, and you fight a lot of the stereotypes that he may be thrust upon him that may not be positive. And I hope for a day in the life of one of these kids where the optical diversity doesn't matter as much as the experiential diversity. Because we all have different experiences, no matter, two black people aren't the same. Like, I'm not just because you black, I'm black, and, this isn't black or that's black. If you're intellectually intelligent, like if you're intellectually mature, rather, then you realize, the beyond the optical diversity is truly experiential diversity, and that's what really matters. And if you can tap into that, and people can just share experiences, no matter what hue, what eye color you have. I mean, because even within our community, you know how it is, like dark skin, light skin, all that both.
Yeah.
Like that's just stuff that we've put upon ourselves to further create, issues. And the fact this kid can see you as you said, a safe place, someone makes him laugh, someone that makes him feel valued. That's wonderful. And then having the next black president, Westmore, could be something that's really easy for him to visualize. Whereas when I was a kid, man, that wasn't no thought about that, right? So he does see you as a black man, but not necessarily in a negative way. Is what I'm trying to say.
Certainly. And so I think one of the things that I really am striving for and I want to advocate for is to have as many men, period, in education, especially early education, but black men in education, so that you can see so kids can see the very ways that we present ourselves as black men, right? Like myself, shout out to Mr. Cooper, is a black man at school who we present similarly to them, but have very different experiences. Yet, like at the core of who we are is we love kids and what was best for them, and they know that and they can feel that. And so that makes me kind of think a little bit differently and segue into like a conversation around masculinity, because masculinity is really fragile. Is what I'm realizing as the older that I'm getting. The definitions of masculinity, especially in the black community,
the lines have been blurred.
And so I wanted to just discuss around how masculinity was presented to you as a young man and what that looked like. Little backstory in terms of like your story around like the men in your life, and then ultimately how you feel like that's helped inform what masculinity means to you, and then we'll just wrap from there.